Ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves a Bengals 7-round mock draft today. Going team by team in the draft order with these mocks. Also got a fan voted mock draft link in the description. Maybe going a little slower pace than these videos in that fan voted mock. Give you guys time to vote. And we're going to keep ripping these out because everyone's requesting their team. But again, we are going in draft order. The teams that do not have a first round pick will be after the teams with the first round pick. So we'll keep ripping on that. Got a regular 2-round mock coming. Got plenty of those, plenty of free agency breakdown prediction videos, all kinds of stuff. But let's get into the Bengals mock. First round, I got him taking Orlando Brown, offensive lineman, Oklahoma. I think you can start at tackle for him right away. I really like Orlando Brown. Not getting really enough talk anymore. It's maybe overshadowed by the other offensive linemen, but I like him a lot. I think he fits. I think he's a guy that really stands out on tape. You know, offensive linemen sometimes boring to watch, but they don't really stand out all that much. I mean, a guy like Quenton Nelson does, but Orlando Brown really does to me this year too. See him downfield blocking with the running back, with Baker Mayfield running downfield, so he really stands out. He's all over the place, pretty athletic. I like Orlando Brown. I like the fit here, and then Joe Mixon gets his guy back, gets his blocker back. That could be fun. So I like him there. The Bengals lost a lot of offensive linemen in free agency last year, so they need offensive line help. I think it's their biggest need. And that's why in the second round, I also have him going an old lineman, James Daniels. Center / guard from Iowa, can play either one just as good. That could help the Bengals. Either way can help the Bengals. So then you get your starting tackle in the first round, and you get maybe guard or center in the second round. So just like that, your offensive line is looking good again. So use those first 2 rounds on that. Maybe free agency. We'll see. Third round. I got 2 third-round picks, I believe, here. Dorian O'Daniel, linebacker from Clemson. I really like Dorian O'Daniel a lot. I think he should be a second rounder, but could very easily slide to the third. Very good in coverage, which you don't see a lot in college linebackers. So that's why I like him a little better. He's really all over the place. He's a good football player. I think he can come in there and start right away, even if he's a third rounder. I think the Bengals linebacker unit, I guess, could have been better. It got pretty beat up at the end of the year there. But they definitely could use some more help. The other third round pick, I got him going with a quarterback. It's Kyle Lauletta, the quarterback from Richmond. Very good Senior Bowl, a Senior Bowl MVP, but really good all week. Very accurate, can throw downfield very well too. Pretty athletic too. Reminds me a little bit of Case Keenum, but I mean Keenum showed a good athleticism this year, but Lauletta is surprisingly pretty darn athletic. But he got a great arm too. I think he in the near future could be a starter in this league. So McCarron on his way out most likely. So there's your Dalton backup, maybe starter of the future. We'll see. On to the next round, the fourth round, Mike Gesicki, tight end from Penn State. Athletic tight end, gives you a weapon downfield. Eifert, I love Eifert, but if he's healthy, if he's not hurt, so obviously he's a free agent too. So even if you have him, I think you could use another one. But yeah, who knows what's going to happen with Eifert? Do they bring him back? He cannot stay healthy. I mean, honestly, he's like probably the third best tight end in the league if he's healthy. So it's a shame, but maybe looking for one. And you got plenty of picks to do it. The Bengals got tons of picks here, especially after the compensatory picks. They gained a lot there too, and they already had a pick in every round at least there. So it's looking good for the Bengals this draft. Fifth round, MICAH KISER, linebacker, Virginia. I think he should go earlier in fifth round, but more of his range is 4 or 5. Will play middle linebacker. I think another guy that can play right away. Guy's really all over the place, stands out for Virginia, probably their best player overall. So he could go earlier in this, but he's not really getting a lot of buzz right now, which is surprising. Kind of a known guy during the college season too, so it's a little surprising, but he's a good football player. Could play early in his career. Another fifth round pick, Jordan Whitehead, safety from Pittsburgh. During the year, getting talk, maybe second, third round, but gets pushed back a little bit. Other DB talent, other day 2 talent, so maybe gets pushed back a little bit. Another guy that I think could be around 4 or 5. Bengals got 2 starting safeties. I think they earned their keep there to start at safety, but they could get better, especially for the future. I do not like their depth at safety either, so they could be looking for maybe even a starter now or the near future, and it can help with depth right away too. So I think Jordan Whitehead fills one of those safeties. And in the next round, I got him getting the other one. It's Van Smith, the safety from Clemson. Watch the tape on this guy. You'll love him. He's all over the place. Good football player. I remember watching games live. He really stood out to me. Maybe undersized for a safety, so that's why he drops back. But he's a good football player. Not getting a lot of buzz at all. I think he will probably go into like a round 6, but he should go earlier. So it's a good value pick. You get your 2 safeties of the future and helps you with depth. Again, I do not like their depth really at safety, but they got plenty of picks, so it works out. They can easily fix it. 7th pick, they got 3 7th rounders. DeAdrian Sneed, the defensive line from USF, interior D lineman he would play. Very productive guy. Another guy that possibly can go 6, but guys always get pushed back, and everybody seems surprised when the draft comes along, but it happens every single year. So I gave him Sneed here in the 7th. We're really just looking for depth guys, but a guy like Sneed can be very productive in the near future if developed correctly. Another 7th rounder, JAMARCUS King, corner from South Carolina. Very good year. He had a solid week during the Senior Bowl week, but in the game he struggled a lot, so that drops him down to the 7th round. I think he's got all the traits. Slight guys behind him a little bit in the game, but that's why he's down here in the 7th round. There's just some depth. You're not really going to find a starter down here. You can possibly find a guy that you are confident you can work with. I do like the Bengals corners. I like William Jackson, Quez Denard. Obviously Kirkpatrick. I think Kirkpatrick and Jackson will be the 2 starters. Denard's, maybe he's not living up to where he was drafted, but that's a solid corner to have. It's hard to come across these developed corners, so you're just getting some extra depth here. And obviously they have Pac-Man Jones too, but how much longer is he going to be around for? But you're just getting depth. I think it's very important to have corner depth, and this is a guy with a high ceiling if worked with correctly. So that's why I have him here in the 7th. They got one more 7th rounder. This is our last pick. 3 7th rounders. We're going to see some movement from the Bengals. Usually teams like this with loads of these late picks, they move slightly up, slightly down, gain some picks for next year. Maybe they don't want 7th rounders this year, so they gain a little more next year. So we'll see. Teams get desperate for a 7th rounder. They can't believe a guy's on the board, so they'll give you a 6th rounder for next year. So we can see the Bengals moving a little bit. But they do need some depth. Obviously, in the early rounds, they need starters there. So I'm a fan of building it to the draft, building championship teams to the draft. They got plenty of picks to do so. But on to the next pick, the last pick. James Looney, defense end, California. Again, this is just depth, but I think the guy's got a lot of potential. Very good career at California. So I think they drafted very well last year for defensive end, edge rushers there. So depends on what they do with Lawson. Do they want to? I viewed him more as a 3-4 outside linebacker. So the guy can play either way. You put him. The Bengals will run that 4-3. You can put him on the D end spot. You can put him as outside linebacker. I'm not really sure what they're going to do with him, but either one, he's good. Going to be very productive. So, and they got more than just that. Jordan Willis from last year. So I think they're pretty good there. They just need some depth, and that's what you do with these later picks, and you have a ton of them. So it's good. Usually these guys that you draft for depth, it ends up working out because they learn behind some good guys. They have some time to develop. It works out. I'm never a fan of teams purposely drafting guys earlier, or like purposely drafting guy to sit behind somebody so you can start him in the future. It's just get the depth guy. You draft him for depth. Yeah, you see he has potential, but just keep working with him, and then it just turns out he ends up being a good player. So I'm a fan of that here in the late rounds. But yeah, again, Bengals with a ton of picks. I like it. And they needed that help, and you can do something special here as long as you draft right. And they can do that. 2 third rounders, I think it was. I think that could be deadly. Maybe move up in the 2nd. Maybe gain more 4th rounders, move back a little bit. I'm a fan of doing that. Dropping back like 5 to 10 spots, getting more picks. But they have plenty of picks. But I think that rounds 2 through 4 in this draft, if you can get a lot of picks there, it's almost better than like having 2 first rounders, because the difference between like the late 1st round and the day 2 and early day 3, there's not a big difference. So I'm a fan of having, like the Bengals do, like 2 third rounders. So it could be good. It should be fun if you're a Bengals fan this draft. But that'll do it for this one. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Plenty more videos to come, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.